when we see a little possibility of impact, we like to stretch. So it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, impact itself is inspiring. On the other hand, there's a lot more demand on the NGOs. To understand performance under pressure at the WHO Foundation, it's critical to understand our context that we are operating in, the global geopolitical situation adding to uncertainties across the world. In addition, we are a young organization, a young foundation that's needing to scale at a pace which is unprecedented.
Pressure on a day-to-day business is going to be a question of juggling multiple responsibilities, multiple accounts, and multiple tasks. We can't always plan for when pressure is going to appear. I think if we look at the yearly calendar at work, we know that there's going to be peak moments where we're going to have to push through and give it some extra attention. And I think in moments of pressure, we also learn a lot about ourselves, which ultimately leads us to growing and knowing more about ourselves.
Because we are mission-led, we all tend to commit much more than what we can give. One of our colleagues in the middle of a crunch situation had to suddenly take off because her ill health. That time we realized, in the middle of shifting priorities, reallocating work, managing the stress with other team members who weren't prepared for that, we realized something needed to be done. And that was a critical moment for us. And in addition, we brought in a partnership with Hintsa. We realized that it's important that each individual gets a set of tools and techniques to balance their well-being with performance.
One of the moments that resonated most with me from the Hintsa workshop was the section around mental recovery. We live in a world where we're constantly connected, whether through social media or emails. And I think it's important to be able to deconnect from a work day and moving into your personal life. The definite moment that challenged the way I see work and performance was really being able to name the three different modes in which we function, whether it is performing, thriving, or surviving. And I think what was most interesting was the performance mode. And again, the elements of positive stress come into play and you're getting lots of energy from a project. But then being in performance mode 365 days of the year is not something that is optimal. And being able to then transition into a recovery mode before picking something up again. So it's okay to be in survival mode at times and then at other times to be in thriving mode. But also, I think what the program has helped me better understand is that there's a lot of tools that we can apply along the way.
What we need specifically for people to be able to thrive at the foundation is resilience, clarity of purpose, to be able to stay solution-centered under pressure and stay calm and balanced. So high performance has been pretty much our focus for the last few years. But at some point you realize that self-care, individual care, is an input to be able to meet those high targets. It's not something separate. It's inherent in teams being able to sustain peak performance. People having an opportunity to be able to talk to their managers, to collaborate, to take breaks after high intense events. That has kind of added to our own understanding on what sustained peak performance means. If people who are raising funds for WHO Foundation and its life-saving work, they themselves feel stretched, are not able to give their best, that is not a good place to be in. So it's critical that we today itself catch it and work with our people to help them improve their impact while taking care of themselves.